This one's a bit disjointed, and many of these conversations happened on different days throughout the first half of August, since we wanted to revisit some topics because we weren't sure when we were going to do this again. But I'm flying solo for this intro because I wanted to get ahead of one specific topic. One of the things we circled back to here was discussing Shun Skywalker's departure from Dragongate after seeing the SSW Final Kodokan, but this was also before Shun showed up at New Japan's G1 Climax Final. As of the date of that discussion, nobody knew anything concrete yet. We make it very clear here that we aren't reporting news, and if I ever do, I'll specify that it is news, like I did with Daya, but Eden and I are all about vibes and character and presentation of the art of wrestling rather than the stats and ratings of the sport of wrestling. This is not a dirt sheet, and it never has been. I say this because I've seen a few bad faith comments trying to gotcha a past version of us for committing the high crime of not being literally clairvoyant, so if you do that here, I'll know that you didn't listen to this intro or anything else we've talked about in context, and I'll filter your comments out and suggest you do anything else with your time. For the rest of you, thanks for sticking with us. On that note, here's the episode. So, I've been trying to get Larkin CL tickets when I'm in Japan next month.
Oh god.
And since I am a bass guitarist, in my spare time, I've been trying to learn a few of their songs, and
Ooh.
I can't do it. I'm convinced that Tetsuya is a literal god. His bass lines are so ridiculously complex.
Yeah, welcome to Laruku. Like, have you tried singing some of those songs?
I have to say, underrated track is the one they did for the Final Fantasy movie.
Oh, yeah.
Spirit Dreams Inside.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of talk on Twitter lately about songs that were made for movies that didn't have to go that hard.
Yeah.
And I think it reminded me of Doesn't Really Matter by Janet Jackson being for like the Nutty Professor 2, which is absolutely ludicrous. But also I've been listening to that version of that song a lot because she did a version of it with the Japanese boy group Be First, because they supported her on a couple of the dates of her Japan tour. And then the other dates were a girl group from the same label called Hana. But yeah, so I've been listening to that song a lot, and then it came up and I was like, oh yeah, that's where it's from.
Oh yeah, like Tom York did a really good song called Hearing Damage, and it's on the Twilight New Moon soundtrack.
Oh yeah. Twilight unsurprisingly got a lot of that, but then it also got one of the best songs that was deliberately not for Twilight in Vampire Money by MCR. So, which I saw them do it live. Oh my god. Incredibly hard.
Yeah, like especially from growing up in the 90s, it was movie soundtracks were amazing.
They were a big thing.
Just such a lost art now.
Yeah, and the only time you ever get them is for a Baz Luhrmann film.
Yeah,
right? I
right.
hate Baz Luhrmann films.
Okay, so let's get into some of these. So we recorded most of this stuff before the August Kodokan, and a lot has already happened since then.
Everything happened so much. It's impossible to keep up with Dragongate at the best of times. But I'm so far behind on Noah, and like everything has happened in Noah in the past week. So.
Well, that's part of why some of these recordings are so far apart with us, because I'll be like, oh yeah, let's wait until after Kobe World, or let's wait until the next Kodokan, because like I feel like some things are going to change, and then they kind of change, but they don't give you all the information. They give you this like slow drip, and then it's like, okay, well let's wait till the next one, and then it'll be like, oh well, we're finally getting, a unit name here, and this thing's gonna happen and that thing's gonna happen. I just wanted to revisit some of these things because who knows when enough is gonna change in the company before we do this again.
Yeah,
because I like to spread these apart at least long enough to justify like, oh, several things have changed that we need to talk about.
Yeah. And the thing with Dragongate is that it tends to, like, it finds a groove and then everything happens all at once.
Yeah.
In the way that it doesn't in some other companies that tend to sort of spread out some of the, like, obviously you have events where a lot of things happen at once. But Dragongate really has this particular thing where you feel like you're in a groove and your expectations are fairly strongly set and they're being met pretty much every time in terms of character, and then suddenly there'll be this cascade where everything goes horribly wrong for a character in a week, and then suddenly you have an Apuestas match out of nowhere, and you can't anticipate it.
I mean, the perfect example of that is that January 2022 Koraken, where Masquerade breaks up, Shun joins RED, SBK loses the Brave Gate to a returning Dragon Daya, and D-Courage forms. And then you have like Minora teaming with Doi for the first time for Gold Class.
And then suddenly you have the foundation for the next 5 years.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it was. You can pinpoint that as being like the sea change for modern Dragongate. And we're kind of getting that now, but it's also sort of like meted out over several months. So that's hence the delay.
Yeah, you also don't know how significant something can be when you're in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Things can seem significant, obviously, or look like they might be significant, but you will never be able to do any of that except in hindsight. And that's why when I write about things, I don't write about stuff that's upcoming. I like to write about what's already happened, because then you actually have facts and not just fan fiction and speculation, which a lot of people love and then claim it to be predictions and then get angry that it doesn't happen.
Yes, and we've definitely harped on that point throughout this session. But there's a reason for that, because it keeps happening.
It keeps happening. It's annoying. And then no one understands why everyone's angry all the time. And I'm like, why are you yelling? Just, it's fine. It's fine. Calm down.
Yeah, see where it goes.
Ride the wave.
Really, like, the things you like should surprise you.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be entirely predictable.
No, I mean, we're not all here to be Nostradamus. Like, what do you win from accurately predicting what's going to happen on Dynamite next week, you know?
Right, and then when it does, you're like, oh, it's so predictable.
Yeah, oh, that was boring. I was like, well, yeah, if you're only invested in whether you're correct.
Yeah, it's either exactly what you want and then it's boring, or it's not exactly what you want and you complain about it. So
that's bad.
Yeah. Anyhow, yes. The SSW Final,
some sort of conclusion of some description.
Even though he will be back for Gate of Miyane.
Don't look too deep into it.
It definitely seems like they're being a bit more final about it, though.
Oh, yeah. It's just the way everyone threw their toys out of the pram when I'm like, yeah, but he's done this before. One should know to expect this.
We'll see.
We will see.
Shun's departure feels more than a little suspect.
It felt anticlimactic, and I know I said this in the chat.
Yeah, I think the whole, like, that's it aspect of it is deliberate.
Yeah.
Like, so he went over Homare, so he's leaving without putting over his protege. Left with very little fanfare except to say thank you and then screaming as Shun does.
Which is, on brand.
On brand, yeah. But, like, no crash out over KZ holding the title, no character change, no unmasking or anything like that. I think that leaves the door wide open for him. So we do get another appearance with Gate of Miyane, so I guess it was leaving it open for that, but I don't really see that having the finality either, because that's technically non-canon anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels odd to hold on to every aspect of the character until the bitter end, unless you're doing something with it in the future.
Yeah, again, it's like I chafe against the side of me and the culture in general that wants to speculate, because I don't know. I have absolutely nothing to go on. I don't know these people.
Yeah.
If they've not said anything, I don't know it. But in terms of the actual match itself, and I don't know, obviously, it's art. It's meant to make you feel something. There was just a strange melancholia to it that I have yet to resolve within myself. And obviously, I'm incredibly invested in Shun. I've written a dissertation on the man.
I mean, look who you're talking to.
Well, yeah, that's true. That is true. Between the two of us, we've got most of the forms of media covered. All of the forms of media covered, actually, because I've done writing, you've done video, and we both do podcasting.
Yeah.
Next, we just need to do like a nice portrait.
We need to release a Shun Skywalker album.
it's just various levels of screaming.
It's just screaming.
It's just the goat laughing, screaming.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be over my mediocre post-punk bass playing, and
yes.
just goat screams.
Yeah, just like attempting Laruku bits and failing miserably, and also screaming. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel, but I think that is also part of it. I think as well with Shun is even were this to be the end definitively, I think the kind of art that this man makes, it would be antithetical to a lot of the way he moves to have it be neat and clean and perfect closure, because that's just kind of not how he operates narratively.
Yeah, it's on brand for him to leave some mystery too.
Yeah.
Also, just I want to specify that if he does show up in New Japan, either as himself or as a different character, yes, there were rumors about it, but it's kind of the thing that people didn't know until it actually happened, so there's no real information.
Yeah, the thing about rumors is you've always got to go, okay, so where did this come from and what is their
Right.
reported source or lack thereof? Because sometimes people will just like decide something and say it, and then suddenly that's a rumor, and it was like, that's not how that works.
And people inside the industry will do that.
Yeah. And people will lie to you. It's wrestling. That's part of the mystique.
Yes. There's that whole there's that quote from Bryan Danielson about talking about how lying is fun.
Yeah, no, exactly. That it's
and he does it all the time.
I've described wrestling and wrestling characters interacting with wrestling as like a consensual deception.
Yeah.
Like it's like meeting a face character at a theme park as an adult. You know that's not Mickey Mouse. They know they are not Mickey Mouse, but you both pretend that you are talking to Mickey Mouse because that's part of the joy. That's part of the whole thing. If you're not willing to do that, why are you engaging with wrestling?
On that note, I will say that whatever happens next with him, I can't say I will be entirely surprised. Unless it's like he goes to WWE or something. That would surprise
me. That would, I think, surprise literally everyone forever. Yeah. I could not imagine that.
I also think that if we're looking at this situation where he's going away for a while and coming back, not to get too far into the details of what I heard privately about Daya, but the idea was basically that he needed to figure out like his plan B.
Yeah.
And also just the fact that a corporation like New Japan cannot poach somebody out of their contract. If somebody is under contract, that just doesn't really happen in Prores.
Yeah. Well, you've said it now, so that means it's a rumor and people will believe it without any evidence. Isn't that fun?
Yeah. But what I mean is that it could be something like that where he just comes back when he feels like it and otherwise does his own thing. And the part where I'm going to cut off the speculation is what he does outside of that. I'm not going to speculate on that.
Yeah, no.
He'll come back as a Jiroshimbashi Sugihara Trading Company employee.
Yeah, I was just... I don't know why my brain immediately went, oh yeah, he could be just be like Orville Peck, where he's sort of a masked country singer, but people have some speculation about like what he did before, but it's also not really relevant. So
yeah, he'll come back wearing it's the same mask except there's fringe on the bottom.
Exactly. I'm saying, can Shun Skywalker sing? That's what I need to know. If so, we're going to have to rethink our plans for the album.
That's so off the wall. Completely off topic.
In comparison to everything else we've ever said.
The next point I want to address is that they are doing something with Ryu Fuda.
Allegedly. Now, let's not get my hopes too high.
Right.
But
well, it's this kind of thing where nobody wants him, so he's demanding that people take him seriously. You know, we saw him challenging Ryoya and getting refused. We've seen Sairio basically saying, like, wait your turn or do something with yourself first. We've seen him confront Ishin and be like, you said that we were going to go to the top together because we were in the same class, and Ishin was basically like, no, I'm way above your level now, what are you talking about? So it's interesting to see him play the field and not just do like one thing. Like having multiple Ryu Fuda segments on one show is really interesting.
Unprecedented.
Which it could be really fun if he gets some kind of huge upset win and just forces everyone to notice him.
I mean, it makes sense.
Probably the prevailing sentiment is that he's going to turn heel, but I don't think he has to. Not to bloat the roster with too many units here, but I could honestly see him being almost like a revolutionary type of character that like Tien Revolution was, where he gets sick of what's going on in the company, and who else recently got kind of screwed over by the company but the clowns. So
Oh.
he could even get Monte and Cielo in there and just kind of be like, hey, do something with us, notice us, figure us out.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that kind of approach of like, well, no one wants me, so I guess I'll do it myself.
Which I think would be an interesting bookend to what Mochi told him.
Exactly.
That's all just fantasy booking on my part, but I do think it is really interesting to see him take more than one avenue towards taking those steps for himself and taking Mochi's advice and being like, I'm going to be a nuisance. I'm going to be someone you can't deny, someone you can't ignore. I'm going to show up unannounced and insert myself into all of your storylines.
I will make myself a problem.
And one of them has to stick.
Yeah.
So I do like that angle on it. I liked that they followed up on, him making the Bravegate challenge and being denied, but I did not expect the direct confrontation with Gaja Dokuro. That was pretty interesting. So that could be really fun, and I hope by the next time we do this, we see where he lands and what he is actually doing, and whether it's a character evolution for him.
And whether he'll settle on one hairstyle.
Never
experimental like that.
Well, we can't all have Ryoya's hair.
No, this is true.
Speaking of which, the bleach blonde.
I like it. I know it's controversial. But he just makes himself princelier and, well, boy princesslier.
Princesslier? I think you've invented a new word.
Princesslier. I wish I hadn't, but I don't know. I vibe.
I can do a little sidebar about my Vegas trip, actually. It has been a few months, but I did go to the Dragongate and Defy crossover show in Portland.
I was so annoyed I couldn't make any of it, but alas, I don't have infinite stores of money.
Yeah, that still has not made video anywhere because I think now Progress owns the footage since they bought Defy.
I don't know. The ownership of that whole thing is a bit complicated because not only was there the merger with Defy earlier this year, but since then Progress has also been bought by Nikki Cross and Big Damo. So I think it'll be a couple of months before most of that is worked out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I heard it's going to be on the Dragongate network eventually, but anyway, the cool part about that was as soon as I pulled into the parking lot, I saw Ho in the back, so he got me backstage for that, and I already know most of the guys who work for Defy anyway, but like I got to meet Sting's son, and he's super nice.
Sting's large son?
Yeah.
One of them.
One of the two, yeah.
He has multiple large sons.
But yeah, he was super nice. I got to meet everyone who was there except, let's see, Yuki, Hyo, and Kato weren't there yet, I think. That was it. I did talk a fair bit with Ishin and Kai since they both have pretty good English.
Yeah.
Kai has seen my Masquerade documentary. So that was interesting. I was telling him who I was, and I said, I made a Masquerade documentary. And he's like, oh yeah, 2 or 3 years ago? And he's like, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I've seen it.
That's alarming.
Yeah.
It's always such a strange thing to be like. My work's very, very different, but occasionally someone will mention something that I did then I did not expect. Like someone brought up a podcast that I did literally like 8 years ago with someone, and I was like, I didn't know that you existed, and you've known I existed for that long. Strange.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Kikta is really polite and really soft-spoken. I was surprised at how gentle of a person he is.
It makes me feel bad about calling him boss baby constantly.
He's a big softie. It's kind of adorable.
I can't explain that really as a bit either. It's just stuck with me since I started watching Kikta. I'm so sorry. One day I'll apologize in person and you will have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm sorry. My nicknames. Oh.
Some of them did remember me from last year.
Oh, that's nice.
I had a whole ass conversation in Japanese with Ben K, so I'm pretty happy with my progress there.
Incredible work.
Simple back and forth, but yeah, like I was able to call and response, I guess.
Call and response? Like it's a sea shanty.
Yes.
Obviously, that's the reference.
Yes, I broke into a sea shanty with Ben K.
And then you got very popular on TikTok.
Yes.
I hate myself.
the directions this podcast goes.
This is just talking to me. I'm sorry. I'm not built like this.
It was funny because I was shout out to my friend Steph. I was hanging out with her at ringside, and I just became vaguely aware of a very orange person in my peripheral vision while we're watching a match. I think that it was probably the main. It was Susumu versus Brian Keith, which was a great match. I hope that gets put on the network soon. But yeah, he just like comes up next to me as I'm standing against the wall just watching, and I just become aware of him, and I'm like, oh, hey, Ben K. and just ended up having like rudimentary. We fully understood each other. I was able to tell him we met in Philly, and he remembered me, especially after I told him like what I do. He's like, oh yeah, I remember. And I told him like my Japanese has gotten a little bit better, but I still have a long way to go. Mada this. And he was like, yeah, my English is not very good. But yeah, we were able to, talk a little bit, and then he just like stood next to me and we watched the match. And,
nice.
And then after that was over, he took off.
So you're best friends now, is what you're telling me?
Yeah, I'm. That's me, best friends with Ben K.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go tanning at midnight together.
I like how that sounds like a code, like in a Cold War, the tan starts at midnight.
But yeah, I hope he's not out for too long.
Yeah.
I showed Sario my channel. He was very grateful. But it's funny, he told me always check and didn't elaborate.
It's like, what could that possibly mean?
I took it to mean that like make sure I'm allowed to use their materials. Gouda hasn't bothered me in a long time though. Like yeah, just like make sure it's okay that you can do this stuff.
Yeah, don't be fully reproducing matches, and
yeah,
you should be fine.
I do wish we'd been able to book them on the Pandemonium show I worked, but they had DGUSA a few hours later, so they needed to be across town for that.
Makes sense.
But we did get Saya Ida and Natsupoi.
Yeah.
So I got to work with them. They were both super nice to me. Natsupoi is such a sweetheart. I was working hard cam for the show, and like she thanked me for my work, and
thank you for your service.
Just like, yeah, she's lovely. Saya Ida is super cool. I am a huge fan of hers anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was so weird because I just like tower over her, but she was super nice. Ho introduced me because he was there too. He introduced me to Alexis Lee. She is absolutely lovely.
Yeah,
just one of those people you just get along with instantly. So I gotta tell you, because like she started doing this thing. I had known her for like 10 or 15 minutes by this point, and she starts like throwing these slow motion punches at first, and I played along and started like selling them. So then she escalated and she starts hitting like light hits and chops, and then by the end of it she was just like fully beating on me every time she saw me around the venue.
That sounds like that was your fault.
Like not hard, but making contact. Like she's hilarious. She's an absolute menace.
Yeah, I met her a couple of months ago and she was lovely.
Yeah, I told her you were coming.
Yeah, when I said, Mark told you not to beat me up, she looked so disappointed.
Yeah. No, she's awesome. I hope I get to hang out with her again. Yeah, I was unfortunately I couldn't stay longer. I was super exhausted by the DGUSA show, so like I wasn't as into it as I wanted to be, but the main event did wake me up.
They tend to do that.
I mean, also just like I drove there.
Yeah.
So,
ew.
Which I'm never doing a road trip like that again. Like I've had long ones before, but driving through rural Nevada in the desert.
That sounds like hell.
It was April, so it wasn't like super hot at the time, but
it's not even that.
But it was so desolate. It was like 250 kilometers between gas stations, because you'd pass through a town where there would be like a gas station. It would be some ungodly hour. And then after leaving town, you would see these signs that say like no rest stops for like 160 miles or something like that. And I had to do like the mental math. I had to be like, well, let's see, like I have 3/4 of a tank. I am driving a Prius. Can I make it to this next town, or am I going to be stranded in the desert?
Yeah, you're going to suddenly be starring in a Gus Van Sant movie. Let's not do that, thank you.
Yeah, so the rest of the trip was beautiful. Like driving through southern Oregon, which I have not done before, is just amazing. But yeah, that was not just not a good idea.
Yeah, it didn't sound great. from when you were telling me.
What had happened was I had planned to fly there,
Mm.
and then there was a huge spike in flight prices for some reason.
Yeah.
And they just were not going down, and then like the event kept getting closer and closer and closer, and I'm like, I have the option of borrowing a car, and then I would just have to pay fuel, and it's a Prius, so it would be not too expensive in gas, but it was just too much.
Yeah, it's physically taxing and mentally as well.
Especially like, I'm not getting any younger, and
Well, I didn't say it.
I can't do like cross-country road trips like I used to. But I did visit the Utah Salt Flats on the way back. That was really interesting. I had told someone who was a Dragongate fan about that, and they said, that's Mondaria's home.
Oh.
That's where he comes from.
God damn it.
Also on the way back, I drove through the mountains of central Washington, and there is a little town called Leavenworth where all of the architecture is patterned after Bavarian villages.
Oh, interesting.
And
how strange.
They have like a beer garden there, and it's just like it's a tourism thing, but it's really interesting. Anyway, yeah, a sidebar for my trip. One thing I was thinking about is if we do the same order every time, Flamita's always going to be last.
Oh, yeah.
After like 8 hours of talking.
And then we'd be like, I like Flamita. He's here.
Yeah, Flamita. He's awesome.
Good flips. Can you believe he's still only 30? Anyway.
So yeah, if you want to go out of order, we did bring up Love and Peace a couple times when talking about the last couple units. So let's do it a little bit out of order, shake things up a bit. God forbid, because we're such rogues.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Let's talk about Love and Peace.
Love and Peace.
Both.
Can you imagine?
Both at once.
Both.
Imagine a world.
Imagine.
I was saying that with the drawfee cadence of imagine a crab.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of now this is a niche Britishism, but the one of the preambles that they used to play. So you know how it's AMC, right? That has the Nicole Kidman bumper about the magic of cinema.
Oh, yeah.
In the UK, we used to have a similar one, basically sort of like against piracy. Like imagine the joys of cinema all gone because you pirated a movie and you didn't come to the cinema. That was narrated by John Hurt.
All gone. Imagine.
And me and my friend Sean, we reference it all the time. So if you ever hear me say all gone, it's a reference to that. Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad to know this now?
So it's basically...
Don't you feel more cultured?
It's basically your equivalent of you wouldn't download a car.
Well, yes, but we had that too. So, and I would if I could. And then it turned out that the music in that was stolen.
That's funny.
I believe.
But no, it's all been stolen by AI anyway.
Well...
And they're not putting out anti-AI ads before movies now, are they?
No. What if I drown myself in the ocean that I've just walked into?
Could you drown a data center while you're at it?
I can give it a try. Take the Chateau d'If with me. That's an extremely niche reference that absolutely no one will get. That is just for me.
Anyhow, Love and Peace.
Love and Peace.
In the... we talked about this when we talked about the title belts at the top. I think Hyo and Jackie Rita is an incredibly strong trio to be pushing right now. I hope this is not one of those things where, because you know how the method of the Dragongate division is that it's relatively easy to win but hard to keep. I would like to see several defenses from this trio.
I think you'd be missing a trick if you didn't, if you were in charge and you didn't. Purely again because Jackie Rita are a tag team of the year easily. I don't measure these things, but I think if I'm thinking about all the tag team stuff that I've seen across the various different places that I watch, I don't think anyone really is touching them right now. And then Hyo has become so powerful in his Hyoisms. And he's always had
he is his best
chemistry.
self right now.
Yeah, he's always had great chemistry with Jackie, obviously, and
clearly
with Rita. So all the three of them, it's like, just give them all of the money and like put them with trios that offer something different for them to bounce against. You know, there's so many options, there's so many ways that you can go through it, and that also make the teams that they're against really interesting too.
Oh, like for me right now, there's no more highly anticipated match than Hyo and Jakirita doing a Triangle Gate defense against Ryoya's new team.
Yes.
That is going to burn the house down, I think.
They are going to throw absolutely everything at the wall in the way that only trios matches ever do, and only like specifically Dragon Gate trios matches do.
And if you want to do 3-way trios, then, throw in Gyuchi, Aki, and Flamita, or any combination of that.
It'd just be so much color. Like everyone's wearing all of the colors and all of the fringe.
Like a Lisa Frank painting.
Yes! I mean, like, Love and Peace have always had a little bit of a Lisa Frank energy, but if you if you throw everyone else in, and with Yo-Yo's pastels.
Not enough rainbows, but certainly some unicorns in there.
Exactly. Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
Just assign Lisa Frank creatures to each. Anyway, sorry, no, back to the point.
As you said, Hyo got the slutty cat boy over so ridiculously hard. People are noticing him, not just because he was in Super Juniors, but like I've had people ask me who don't watch Dragongate, and I don't know why they talk to me if they don't watch Dragongate, honestly, but
get out of here.
But I've had people be like, yeah, who's this, is it Hayo? And I'm like, no, it's Hyo.
Oh no.
It's Hyo. No, who's the leopard guy? And like, I'll go like, well, let me tell you.
Let me start on my thesis.
With his lacy evening gloves and his choker.
He's just so immediately readable. Not to say that his character, his presence is uncomplicated. That's not what I mean. It's the fact that he has the propensity that all the best wrestlers have, that he walks through the curtain and you immediately understand his deal in pretty much every way. And then on top of that, he is effortlessly charismatic.
Yeah.
That isn't just like the way he looks or the way he moves. Ever since he turned face, there's just this light inside him that nothing has managed to dim. And people respond to that immediately.
Yeah, we've talked about this at length with the Big Hug focused cage match where he just had so much pathos in that match, and Jackie just completely added to that, which is why I am glad to see that they don't touch upon their history much, but the fact that they are, in a unit together after all that happened between them. I really enjoy that there is that history there.
They've both healed is the thing. That's kind of like, it's people on the other side of a healing.
Yeah, and it's also why, as much as I have wanted them to do something with Monte, I don't know if Love and Peace was the move, because otherwise, why didn't they just absorb Big Hug? Which could have been something they did, but I don't think it needed to happen, really.
Yeah, no.
They needed a journey separately from that first, I think.
That's the thing. You do the healing and then you come back together, and it's the second chance romance, this time with orange and white as the color scheme.
Should I don't know if this is the place for it, but you know what I'm about to say, right?
I fear it. just do it. Just say it.
Should I get into my whole thesis about them?
I don't see why not.
Okay. I'm gonna be shouting out Art again for this, because this came out of a conversation we had in DMs. I think we were going over like who is mother and who is father in a lot of the roles.
Oh, and, no, not the heteronormativity.
Just like,
get out of here.
Doesn't have to necessarily be male or female, but like masculine, feminine traits, and also like maternal and paternal traits. But and I'll put this on the screen, because I did take a screenshot of it, of course. But I said I've fully cracked the gold class Big Hug Love and Peace code.
Mm-hmm.
It is a family drama of divorcees finding each other. Doi was mother, which I don't think can be disputed. Doi is mother.
Yeah. Wine mom, but yeah.
No, there is another wine mom in this,
yes.
but one in particular. But Doi left Ben-K as a single dad to take care of Rita on his own, and Junior was adopted when his real dad abandoned him.
It's so sad.
BB Hulk tried to step in and be stepmom, Tried to be the mom that stepped up. But you know, he is the wine ant, and his demons got the best of him.
Mm-hmm.
He had to leave and continued, you know, defending them from the shadows for a while. But you know, he's got some darkness in him, and he needed to step away. And then meanwhile, you have Monte, the dad, and Hyo, the mom, raising their son Jackie. But you know, the marriage didn't work, even though they were in love. So they had to go their separate ways.
That's the mature, responsible thing to do.
But then Hyo started seeing Ben as a rebound because Jackie and Rita started hanging out. And this was also after Rita's big brother Kota left home and he moved back in with his ex Jason, who is also Jackie's ex.
Let's not unpack that one too far.
You know, so they moved to a new city with all the kids and started a new family together. And meanwhile, Monte is still a divorced dad, but he's got visitation. He just hasn't found love again.
This is like, you know, those vertical dramas that you get like these really shockingly terrible ads for on YouTube. And you're like, this is why I need an ad blocker. Kind of given that.
Yeah, just a little bit. But yeah, then the other part of that is that Doi and Hulk ended up in a lesbian polycule with one of Junior's aunts and several of Doi's exes.
It's been known to happen. These things just happen.
I can't believe I'm putting this on my channel, but
you are in control of the buttons that you press.
I am. It is a strong narrative, though.
It's a strong narrative. It's got motion. It's got energy.
It feels like one of those prestige network dramas that would have come out in like the 2010s, like This Is Us and that kind of thing.
Someone make Friday Night Lights, but wrestling. I know that's just Iron Claw, but
oh god, didn't somebody try? Didn't somebody try to do that? They made that wrestling show that was supposed to be,
I don't know,
like all high drama. Yeah, like CM Punk was in it.
Oh, yeah, makes sense why I decided not to think about it.
Anyway.
Now that the fan fiction corner's over.
Yes, well, time will tell whether I actually do include that whole segment.
I leave that to your discretion. This is why we need the Patreon. Just the tangents.
Oh,
That's all
yeah.
we do. We just post tangents.
Yeah, maybe I should just release an editor's cut.
Director's cut, complete with all the nonsense.
Even more nonsense. I mean, we've talked a fair bit about Hyo and his role in the unit. Ben K, I really like that he is very loudly cheerleading from the sidelines despite being injured.
Ben K has been bald before. He has never been bolder than he is right now. Why is this? What is this, like, logical, like, cognitive thing that makes him seem so much bolder?
I think it has something to do with how he's dressed in addition to that.
Yeah.
Like, he already dresses like Goku.
Yes.
But, like, with the bald head, he's more like Krillin now, right? And who is more bald than Krillin?
He's like several Dragon Ball Z characters run at each other at high speeds. But
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It is kind of Krillin core.
Also, no offense because I love the guy, but he is kind of a dumbass sometimes. That spear he did may have set back his injury.
Oh, well, yeah. I never count on Benkei to make the smartest decisions at any given moment.
I don't know if it was like a fracture or something in his neck or like a protruding vertebrae or something like that. But apparently it happened in a DGUSA match. I don't remember who he was up against, but someone said he was up against someone who was 7 foot tall and they choke slammed him and his neck
said
just
no. They tend to do that.
Yeah, which, I mean, look who you're talking to here.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Perhaps I should not speak.
My awful neck. Actually, it has been more tolerable. Neck stuff is really tricky because it just connects to everything else.
Yeah, it's like injuring your back.
Well, if you have compressed nerves like I do, it can be debilitating because it will just wipe you out for an entire day. There's only so much you can do with painkillers and treatment, but it's like all the nerves run through there and
kind of important, connects to your brain
before they run to anything else. And then if something goes numb or you don't have a certain amount of strength. Yeah, I think it was Jay talking about Ben K. He was saying that he has like 60% grip strength right now.
Oh, that's horrible.
Like, I totally understand what that's like. I hope he recovers well and, not to rush him or anything.
Yeah, take all the time you need.
But he should not be doing spears, I can tell you that.
Jesus Christ.
But I do like that he is well enough that he can stick with the group and still tour with them and yell very loudly.
He's very good at that.
And the thing is, like, something like Shimizu, who we'll get to later, where he is out and he's immobile, and the last time we saw him, he was in a full leg cast.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that like Ben-K presumably doesn't have to wear a neck brace, or he might behind the scenes or whatever, but
It's not a requirement at every second.
or if it's not that kind of injury,
Yeah.
it might just be that he needs to heal up and that's it.
We can't all be Dragon Kid.
Well, it took him a while to recover too.
Well, yeah, but also he was definitely wrestling when he shouldn't have been. Because these people are just insane like that. So
the infamous big demo tweet.
Oh, yeah.
I think we could talk about Jackie Rita as a pair. We already have a bit.
Do not separate.
No. They may have kind of taken a back seat as far as characterization goes, because they really haven't had that much material. But, I don't know. They did have this kind of thing where Jackie is yelling a lot more now.
He's come out of his shell.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago, I did actually get to see Jackie at a Rev Pro show. He was part of the British J Cup.
Right, yeah.
He had a first round match against Robbie X. So I did get to hear the Love and Peace theme, and that was really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was conservatively a billion degrees in that room. It had to have been in excess of like 40 degrees in that room, because there was no aircon, because it's the UK and we don't have that here in most places. At that point, like, I'd just given myself over to the humidity, and it was just like, I'm just gonna sit here and be like, woo, yay, Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just really glad that I got to see him. Unsurprisingly, he was super popular immediately, especially with the crowd in Stevenage. Tends to be a lot of kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the match with Robbie was unsurprisingly very, very solid.
Yeah, I have to catch that still.
No one was going at full pelt. It was too hot.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
But even then, I got to see some of the traditional Jackie-isms. There were a couple of sections where they went really, really fast, but my God, it was so hot in there. I can't express to you how much we were all melting. Did
you get the sense that people just kind of got him right away?
I think so.
What was was he wearing the overalls or the shorts?
No, he was wearing full leg trousers.
Okay.
And the velour ones.
Yeah.
And because I remember thinking, why are you wearing that? And then like he comes out to merch like wearing like long sleeves and stuff, and I'm like, oh, look, dude, I know it gets hotter in Japan, but this does not seem reasonable.
I am a bit familiar with Robbie X. I have seen him live, actually. I saw him at, who was on that Rev Pro show when I was in the UK? It was the 11th anniversary.
Yes, that was before I was back to attending shows, so I wasn't at that one. Robbie X does tend to show up on Rev Pro stuff, because due to previous history with Rev Pro, and also he's New Japan, and they have a working relationship with Rev Pro.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that was the copper box.
Yeah, it would have been.
Oh, he was in a scramble match.
That makes sense, yeah.
Listen to this lineup. Connor Mills defeats, for the British Cruiserweight title, defeats Callum Newman, who has since won the IWGP Heavyweight. Jordan Breaks, Robbie X, Shaw Samuels, and Wild Boar.
Wild Boar was a bit of a swerve at the end there, but like that sounds like a fairly standard Rev Pro kind of lineup to me. Yeah,
that was a fun one. I remember that being pretty memorable.
Yeah.
A bit of a like high flyer spot fest kind of thing, but in the best way.
Yeah, that's what a scramble should be. And then you put in someone like Boar, who is a cannonball with legs, and that to give it a little bit of a different energy.
Well, everyone needs a base, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, that was main evented by Shingo versus Ospreay. That was really good.
Yeah, that tracks.
And that was the day before All In at Wembley, so
the first one,
which I also did get to go to. I couldn't see shit, but
that's Wembley.
I was watching, wrestling on a screen from quite far away.
Yeah,
but
that's why I don't like Wembley for wrestling.
Yeah, I don't really like big arena shows in general, but I liked having the experience, and I liked being able to say, like, I'm watching a wrestling show at Wembley. Cool.
Yeah, it's why I don't think I'm going to go this year. None of the matches are interesting enough to me personally to spend the money and deal with being in Wembley, and then deal with all the crowds leaving. Ugh, jeez.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get back to my Airbnb until 1 a.m. at least.
No.
If not later. I think I was in Hackney.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Jackie. I saw Jackie.
I mean, we were talking about Jackie Rita, but we did veer into just talking about Jackie, so we can talk a bit about Rita. I I love how much he has established himself within just the past year or so.
Mm.
Because before he was presented as, I don't necessarily want to say a joke, but he was more of a comedic character. And he's such a force now.
Yeah.
I do think that they have taken him more seriously
Yeah.
over the past year or so.
No, agreed.
Yeah, he still has goofs, but
Everyone does. Like, you've got to have some level of a bit committal to be in Dragongate and actually remain, interesting and varied. If you don't have a sense of humor, literally, why are you here?
something that some of the best Dragon Gate wrestlers establish in themselves over the years is the ability to just shift into not full-blown comedy necessarily, but just like comedic spots.
It's always authentic to the rest of the character that they are playing as well. Like, it never feels forced or tacked on, because I think they're drawing from the natural humor of the performer.
Wasn't like the last couple times he's been on Prime Zone, I think he's just had a match.
I am so behind on Prime Zone, I fear.
Did you not see the one with the full 3-act play about Myeon Myeon?
I didn't, and I need to catch up desperately.
That is your homework.
This year's been chaotic for me. Yeah.
You need to just take an hour and a half at a time.
It's made for me.
It is.
Like, this whole is made for me. I don't know why I haven't watched it yet.
You think that's going to be the end of it, and then it starts again, and they...
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, exactly. It is chef's kiss. It is perfect 10-10, no notes.
God, I love Prime Zone.
I really wish they would do it more often. It seems like they're doing kind of a bi-monthly thing.
Mm.
Oh, right. He was Mini Strung Machine in the All Masks episode.
Mm.
But yeah, like, even that's not all that silly.
Well, everyone was on the bit, so it's not like it's uniquely.
One thing that I think is really interesting is how much of a killer move they have made the Retanic.
Yes.
Surprisingly, too, it's when he hits it, I don't know that I've seen people kick out of it. I'm sure someone will correct me on that.
Well, I wouldn't.
But they have built it as a legit finisher, and I really love that for him. I keep forgetting how old he is too. He's like he's pushing 30 right now.
It's just because he's small.
But he also has been around for quite a while now.
I've just lost all concept of time. I don't know how it works anymore. How old am I?
Well,
Who am I?
This entire decade's been like that, really.
Yeah, true.
Just what is time anymore? But yeah, I think we can talk a bit about the hero of Himeji, Mochizuki Jr. As the story goes, I think it was him and El Kukui were at the castle, and just someone was trying to burn it down for some reason.
No, it's not the first
and
time.
he just chased him down.
Crazy.
And he is considered a national hero because that is a national
occasionally you've just gotta get involved in UNESCO's business,
I would like to see them do something more with him. And unfortunately, I don't really have that much to say about him because they're not doing much with him right now. But the one thing that I always love, and I mentioned this before, is whenever they have him against Fuda and they just kick each other really hard.
Yep, all kicks all the time. I think they've been biding their time with Junior a little bit recently, and that's fine. Again, not everyone. You can't have everyone being the main character all the time.
Yeah.
People need to
people
step
get
back
cycled down, yeah.
Exactly. Because otherwise, again, if you have everything happening at the same time, everything means the same thing, therefore becomes nothing. I will never get tired of watching Junior wrestle, I think. It's the kind of unassuming thing. It's not even necessarily in the way he's characterized or anything, but there is just something you don't really expect what you get from him in the ring at any given time, even if you are familiar with him.
I do also think that his introduction may have been, and maybe deliberately this way, but I do think that he was kind of given a too much too soon push.
Yeah.
Because of how he came in, where it was we brought back M2K just to debut him, and now we're getting him wins with his father, and not necessarily that he hasn't earned his position, but I think it took him a while to get that kind of Nepo baby stigma off of him.
Yeah.
And really prove himself.
Inevitably.
Because what he's doing now could not be more different from Mochi. But also just, I mean, like on the note of what you said about never getting tired of watching him in the ring, he hit, I think, an all-time stalling German on Aki at Kobe World that was just gorgeous. That may have been the best one I've ever seen from him.
I defy people to come up with a top 5 list of suplexes and not put Junior at the top, because just on aesthetics alone, it's just so good.
And Aki's a big boy, and
a large fellow.
yeah, and Junior being able to hoist him up on a delay, hit a picture perfect German suplex, and then the part of it that I think is underrated by a lot of people who look at his form is the way that he pushes up back to his feet after the pin.
I'll have to look out for that.
A lot of times he doesn't even touch his head to the mat.
Yeah.
He will bend all the way back, and then he will push himself back up to his feet without ever touching.
It's a ridiculous amount of core strength. Like, I can't even begin
seriously
to unpack that.
Between that and his strikes, I think he has surpassed the nepotism that he came in under. Like, unless they want to do a heel turn with him and kind of just get away from the Mochizuki name altogether and just call himself Ryoto in all caps, then
it's got to be all caps.
Yeah, then I don't really think they need to do much else right now. I think he just needs an opportunity. I think he could like, actually, speaking of Bravegate contenders, I think he would be a really interesting one.
Oh yeah. I would watch that match. I mean, I said it last time that I think what one of the things that he really needs, or at least his character needs, is he needs a little bit of tragedy. He needs a little bit of heartbreak in his life, because it still hasn't happened.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and because the way I phrased it made it sound incredibly sadistic. But the thing is that he hasn't really had much of a story thrust since he came back from excursion from injury.
Right.
And then headed into Gold Class.
Yeah, he had that sternum injury.
Yeah. So I want, obviously he's got like his eternal feud with Ishin, but that hasn't really had any plot beats.
No.
Like, they've had matches, but we haven't had a plot beat yet. And I think that's kind of the next thing that he needs. He needs more relationship development with multiple people, I think. Because he and Hyo had this thing, and they still do, where Hyo seems to sort of look past Junior almost completely, which I find interesting, but I don't think they haven't like elevated that into a full textual story yet. That's mostly been on Twitter.
Yeah. Also just the whole thing with Benkei calling him Jennifer and that sticking for some reason.
It's was the Grink there levels is the thing.
That's one of the other than, obviously just being injured, is that one of the most unfortunate parts of Benkei being out right now is that, well, the other three are Dragongate champions. There could be a very strong tag team between Benkei and Junior. Not having that opportunity, the three active ones are doing their own thing together, and he's a bit lost in the shuffle. I don't think he's really getting much of an opportunity to shine right now, and it might just take another feud. Or one thing that I personally like about the unit structure of this company is that they are able to kind of have somebody be a proxy when they don't quite want to do the actual title match yet.
Yeah.
So if they do any combination of like Jackie Rita and Junior, or like Junior and Hyo tagging against, any combination of challengers to the Triangle Gate, or even, going for the Twin Gate or something like that. Junior is also potentially, if they want to, bring Prime Zone into reality, he has been Myeon before, so
we have one other very good option, however.
So I was right about Gianni being Myeon.
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
been calling him joining Love and Peace or being associated with them since June, so I feel really vindicated about that. Like, even before the Shinjuku show, I just had the vibe of like, where do you put the, independent, chaotic wild man, but with the cat boy.
Yeah, and I know he towers over everyone in Dragongate, but also it's specifically in Love and Peace. It's
Yeah,
very
it's
funny.
it's really good, and the fact that they're canonically calling him Gianni Mion
It's
Valletta.
so good.
I did mention to Jay about how I would like to see him in Love and Peace, but he seemed to think that he won't be here for long enough to really like join a unit.
There isn't enough orange fabric in Japan for a man that tall.
But I do think, just based on their like we talked about this yesterday, but based on their interactions at Shinjuku Face, it does seem like there is something there.
The meet cute at face.
The thing is, if they made Gianni just like an associate of Love and Peace while he's still there,
Associate.
that's fine too. Kind of like how Marcus Mathers was a D-Courage member briefly.
I like how you say associate as in someone who associates with, and I was like, what, like a paralegal? The way my brain works. Oh, also, sorry, just as you say, with Marcus Mathers being part of D-Courage for the brief tour that he was there, because he had that the mask.
Yeah.
He's got one of the dragon masks in white, and he was also at the British J-Cup, and he wore that mask when he came out for his entrance, and I did have a moment of D-Courage.
Yeah. You also saw Daya live, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, Daya did change his name back to Dragon Daya on socials, so you never know where he'll turn up.
I can only have my heart broken so many times.
But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea who it would even be, but another member for Love and Peace long term would be something to balance them out, give Junior something to do while Ben K recovers. But, you know, Gianni could be the one while he's here. I don't know, like, he doesn't fit the himbo aesthetic, but he definitely fits the animal aesthetic that Yo has.
There are two paths before you.
I'm just going by, you know, they both wear fur, they have collars and chains, you know.
I'm not unpacking that.
We don't have to. We don't have to unpack that.
Just let it settle into implication. How about that? Get sillier. Everyone get weirder with it.
Yeah, we have seen kind of an uptick in silliness this year in particular. I feel like it might have started with the return of the Oware Gate or the return of Prime Zone, but I've noticed it especially since Joshinbashi's debut, where they've kind of been like, let's get a bit sillier. We can, you know, we have room for that.
I think everyone's indulging in it a bit more. And I think it's kind of a USP of Dragongate is that they do have the silliness weighed against the melodrama in a way that in a uniquely balanced way, because obviously you have New Japan doesn't get very silly very often, and when it does, it's not extremely silly. And then you have like DDT, who are always very silly and then occasionally do some serious.
Yeah, kind of like silly except for the main event.
Yeah, Dragongate have the middle ground, and that makes them unique.
Yeah.
In a degree. TJPW have kind of the same, where they've got the sillier stuff happens at the beginning of the show with some of the slightly more outlandish concepts, and then you get to the main event, and then everyone's kicking the hell out of each other, which I love.
I mean, basically being DDT's spin-off, that tracks.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't know, with Dragongate's style of humor, it's like you can have a dedicated silly show like Prime Zone. You can have dedicated silly characters, but there's also kind of this through line of everyone on the roster can be a little bit silly, depending on the match.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to say that Genki is inherently a comedy character, but he has a lot of comedy that comes along with him. Don Fuji is, you know, ostensibly a serious guy, even though he's hilarious.
Yep.
But, you know, sometimes you even see guys like Mochi and Kanda who seem serious, but they don't mind getting a little weird with it.
Yeah. I think and it's an interesting counterpoint to, again, Noah, where especially like Western perspectives of that, of people that don't really watch it, seem to think that it takes itself very, very seriously. But everyone is doing bits all of the time in Noah. They're just so dedicated to all of their bits that they don't tend to stand out against each other unless something completely outlandish happens. Whereas in Dragongate, the bits kind of are like the tide. They ebb and flow. So you kind of forget about how ridiculous it can get until it gets really ridiculous, and then you remember actually no one is normal.
Yeah, and there are certain traditional Dragon Gate spots, some of them even dating back to Toriumon, where it'll be like, oh, this is kind of, grandfathered in, but it's very silly. Like there's the whole thing of doing the train into the corner, to hit people one at a time, and then somebody gets replaced, and then people keep hitting them.
And you just forget. You forget how ridiculous some of that is. Like, even just, like, screaming your opponent's name as you run at them.
Yeah.
Like, it's silly.
And it's also very anime.
It's very anime, calling your attacks.
Yeah. But also, even down to certain moves where it's like, why is Genki's backslide so much better than anybody else's? Why do certain people have certain goofy moves that everyone goes along with regardless of how serious a character they are?
It's the logic of performance.
Right.
It's the logic of wrestling. And the second you start picking at fiction, any fiction will fall apart because it is inherently fiction.
Yeah.
So it's not worth doing most of the time.
Yeah, it's the same reason that, like, Rita can bonk someone on the head and get them to chase him, and he can do that to anybody. And they fall for it.
Yeah.
Like, even, Gianni Valletta fell for it.
Even though he had to get all the way up there.
I remember there being a match where, I think it was in Sapporo, where he did that to Takashi and got him counted out because he literally ran into the back and then ran back.
Yeah, okay.
And stuff like that where, even if a character is serious most of the time or, at least seems to take themselves seriously, everyone has a little bit of a silly edge or can lean into somebody else's bit and works together to get it over, which I really think is a really interesting approach to how they do comedy.
Yeah. Comedy obviously is incredibly subjective in the way that a lot of even the most subjective things can be, because there's a lot of stuff that I don't find funny. Dragongate even do plenty of stuff that I don't actively find funny. But they have so many points with me in other categories that I don't really mind if a joke doesn't land. Like, there's been a couple of episodes of Prime Zone where I've gone, I am not the target audience for this. Yeah. And that's fine. If it was all the time, then I'd be checked out and I wouldn't watch Dragongate. It's as simple as that. So I don't understand why people come to Dragongate and don't at least expect its particular brand of comedy, because it's not like that's new. Like, that's built into the DNA from the beginning.
Yeah, and even older, because it is Lucha inspired, and Lucha is very over the top.
Exactly. It's over the top. It appeals to the full family unit from kids to grandparents.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point of it. And then sometimes you're going to have jokes for the adults, sometimes you're going to have jokes for the kids.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
how it goes.
Nothing exemplifies that more than the fact that they still have Gun Kids on every show.
Exactly.
A lot of that is, especially if you're looking at it through a Western lens, if you're thinking like, oh, this has to cater to me, a like Western adult wrestling fan, then maybe you need to broaden your scope a little bit.
Expand your mind palace. Embrace joy.
Not even that, but just realize that some things are not for you, and that's fine.
Also that. I suppose a lot of it comes from the not unique, but the perspective of someone who is so familiar. It's the same that you get with people that rally against video games and anything becoming more diverse in a lot of ways.
Sure.
Is people are so familiar with things being for them that they don't know how to cope with things that markedly aren't for them, as if there aren't other people in the world. And sometimes you see that kick back a lot in masculinized places like wrestling, especially because there is just the default expectation of I am the person being catered to.
Yeah.
And whenever that doesn't happen, so for instance, a promotion that largely courts women or has a sizable queer audience and stuff like that, or children even, but people don't know how to deal with something that isn't specifically for them. And it's an experiential thing. You have to open up your mind, you have to explore things, you have to look try the things that aren't directed at you. Maybe you'll like them, maybe you won't. But it's empathy more so than anything else. But it's also knowing when to leave well enough alone.
Yeah. And, not to belabor the point, but from the beginning, back when it was Toryumon, it was a very heavily female demographic.
Mm-hmm.
Because they would hold shows during the day, and you would have these bored housewives, packing these venues, and Magnum Tokyo would come out and strip for them. And that would be, the presentation of the thing.
Yeah.
And that's not even getting into, like, how queer-coded modern Dragongate is.
Exactly.
And there's so much of that ingrained into it from the beginning that if you have any backlash against how silly it is, or how, quote, feminized it is, or how queer-coded it is, you need some perspective on what this is, who it's actually catering to,
mm-hmm.
and accepting the idea that maybe you're not the target for it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't still enjoy it.
Oh,
but
of course.
As you say, it's perspective more so than anything. It's like all of the adults that watched My Little Pony. Like, great that you enjoyed it, but you should not have taken over these fandom space, because this is a show for children.
Yeah, good point. On that note, I will say, there's no segue for that.
No, there isn't.
I will say we will circle back to Kung Fu Masters sometime later in a bonus episode, because there are some announcements involving Ho that are still on the download for now, but I can mention that I am lead video producer for a show in December here in Vancouver, and Ho will be on the card.
How fancy.
I won't spoil it yet, but this card is going to be bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be working with people who I never thought I would ever get the opportunity to work with. So
amazing.
I feel like I'm definitely in the right place right now. Happy about that. Also gives me a good reason to stick around this area, because I think we are going to be running up here next year a little more often, and in Portland. So and that is Pandemonium Pro Wrestling. If you want to check us out on YouTube, I have produced the video for the last 3 shows, except for the most recent one that took place in Texas, which was a memorial show for Jordan Saint, young wrestler who passed away in a car accident, unfortunately, a couple months ago. Just absolutely heartbreaking. I worked with him in Vegas. He was, there were like 100 people backstage, so I didn't really get to talk to him that much, but he his personality stood out. He was a great kid, had so much potential, and so, not to bring the mood down too much, but there was a tribute show for him recently for Pandemonium, and that is also on their YouTube page. And then there's another one coming up in Texas in October. I don't think I will be able to make it to that one. I'll be coming back from Japan when that happens.
Yeah.
So. But then the December 5th show, that will be a really cool card, and I will be shooting that one, editing it, and producing the video for it. So that is very much my show in a manner of speaking. So I hope people check that one out.
You see, and I'm not doing any of these things, but someone should hire me if they want a writer.
Well, when I form Dragongate Canada, I will give you the book. How about that?
Do it. Coward. Bet you won't.
Well, with what money? But yeah, we'll see where that leads. And well, hopefully Ho coming over will do a couple things. Hopefully open the door for us to use more Dragongate wrestlers on our cards.
Yeah.
And also to kind of show them that working in Canada is viable.
Yeah.
Because a lot of wrestlers don't know that you do not need a work visa to wrestle here. It is considered performance, which oddly enough is thanks to WWE, because they wanted a tax loophole, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what Canada's for.
Yeah, right. And so that is one thing that I will praise them for, but that's about it. Thanks to all my channel members, that guy from AK, Dan Williams, Art, Lowest, Adam Sanderson, One Funky Note, Lino Nookcha, Jade Somil, Rain Go Wa, Sai, PokeJ23, Salvador's Covers, Kiso Dip, Rookie, Brazilian Fury, Hash BK, Joseph Getz, Double Turn Entertainment, as well as all my one-time donors. If you'd like to become a member, click the join link below, or if you'd like to make a one-time donation, click the link to Ko-fi, I don't know how to pronounce it.